Everyone says they're going to make it to the UFC. Everyone says they're built different. But let me ask you something real quick. If becoming a UFC fighter is just about working hard, why do millions train and only a few hundred ever make it? Because wanting it and surviving the path are two completely different things. And today I'm breaking down why reaching the UFC is so hard, and more importantly, how you can actually give yourself a real chance. Let's get this out the way real fast. Talent? There's talent everywhere. Hard work? Everybody works hard. And no, you don't have to be a Russian who fights bears for a living to become a champion. Although, yeah, that might help. Most fighters don't fail because they're bad. They fail because the road is long, expensive, and way less cinematic than Instagram makes it look. All right, now that that's out the way, let's talk about what actually matters. Here's the part nobody posts. Before the UFC, fighting barely pays. Your body starts feeling 40 at age 25. And losses?
Bruh.
Yeah, they're guaranteed. One bad injury, one rough loss, 1 year where nothing clicks, and suddenly, your gym buddy takes a break and is never seen again. Not because they're weak, but because this path tests patience more than toughness. Take Charles Oliveira. Most people forget this, but he lost again, and again, and again inside the UFC. Same thing with Max Holloway. Lost his UFC debut at just 20 years old. Most fighters lose once and start questioning everything. These guys didn't panic. They adjusted. They evolved. They stayed. That's the difference. All right, now that we've officially killed the fantasy, here's how you can actually give yourself a better chance than most people. Not a guarantee, just leverage. A lot of UFC fighters didn't just wake up one day and say, yeah, I think I'll try MMA. They wrestled young, they did jiu-jitsu early, or they came in with elite striking. John Jones was a high-level wrestler. Kamaru Usman dominated in collegiate wrestling. Alexander Volkanovski built an insane gas tank long before the UFC. If you start late, that's fine. But you can't train like it's a casual hobby. You need structure. You need urgency. And no, shadow boxing in your room at 2 a.m. does not count. This next part is huge. The UFC doesn't just scout fighters, they scout where fighters come from. Training at a serious gym gives you better partners, smarter matchmaking, and real connections. That's why you see fighters coming out of American Kickboxing Academy, located in California. American Top Team, based in Florida. City Kickboxing, located in New Zealand. And the Dagestan wrestling system built by Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. And no, you don't have to move to the mountains and wrestle goats at sunrise. But training somewhere legit changes everything. Iron sharpens iron, and bad gyms create confident losers. Promoters don't chase inactive fighters. If you fight once every 2 years, nobody's checking for you. But fighting reckless ends careers fast. You want momentum, not brain damage. Every fight should answer one simple question. Am I clearly better than last time? That's how guys like Sean O'Malley climbed fast without destroying their bodies early. Smart activity beats reckless toughness. This is where a lot of fighters mess up. The UFC doesn't just sign winners, they sign styles. Alex Pereira is terrifying. Conor McGregor was unforgettable. Khabib Nurmagomedov was inevitable. You don't need to talk trash. You don't need to be loud. But you do need something that makes people say, yeah, this guy's different. Because being well-rounded is cool, but being memorable gets contracts. Here's the real truth. The fighters who reach the UFC aren't the most motivated. They're the most consistent. They show up when it's boring. They train when nobody's watching. They stay calm when progress feels slow. Most people quit during the quiet years, they didn't. So before you say you want the UFC, ask yourself this: are you chasing the spotlight, or are you willing to live like a fighter long before anyone cares? Because the UFC isn't a dream factory, it's a filter, and only the ones who stay long after the hype dies ever get the call.